Before we have the super chat from K-Red, let's see what he has to say. Should we have just given Cutter his free year? Would it have mattered?
So that's something that has been. I feel like it's been repeated.
I don't think that's what it was.
It's been repeated so much that
people believe it.
People believe it. It is certainly not that simple, at least based on the conversations I've had with people in the organization. My understanding is that had Gauthier, because we're going back to the call they had in March, that apparently last March, that apparently the call between Danny Briere, who had just been named interim GM, and Cutter Gauthier, whose season had just ended. They had a call. I have heard from people I trust that Gauthier came away from that call concerned. Now, what he was concerned about, he will not reveal. Maybe he will at some point down the road. But he came away from that call thinking, I'm not loving this.
They told him the place is a shit show.
The theory that has been brought up by a few people is that Gauthier wanted to turn pro immediately. The Flyers told him no because there are cap things and whatnot. That was reported. I don't even know by who, but that was reported by some people. And it's been said so many times that people just assume it was fact. My understanding is that if Cutter Gauthier would have came into that call and said, I want to turn pro right now and I want to burn a year and that's what I want, the Flyers have been like, abso-fucking-lutely, we want you in the organization, sign now. This was not a situation where the Flyers told him, no, you can't sign now, unless multiple people in the organization are lying to me. What I do suspect might have happened is, because what Flyers people have told me is, look, Cutter came into that call and he was like, my coach thinks I should go back for another year.
BC made the... Yo, man, we can win a championship. Yep. We need you. We're getting all these guys if it's you. And all the USNTDP people, like, we can win the title. They made the hard sell, and the Flyers did.
You had Patrick Brown's uncle, basically, who's the coach of friggin' BC, basically was like, I think not just we want to win a championship, but also I think you would benefit from another year. And Gauthier came into that call, at least from the Flyers' perspective, seeming like he was leaning in that direction, that like, I think I'm going to go back. I think I want to. And Briere apparently basically was like, if that's what you want to do, that's cool. Like we support that. You know, we're cool with that. You'll benefit from another year. Sure. I wonder if
he wanted them to beg him.
He wanted them to beg him.
Yes.
And when they didn't, it then became like, these guys don't love me as much as they should.
Yes.
That's what that's what I think happened. If I had to guess.
Like, from everything that I've been able to piece together about this, and you are the journalist and I'm some guy, but that's what happened.
I think he wanted them to beg him. And then he still was feeling relatively okay about the whole thing. Maybe I do need another year. And then he goes over to the Worlds and he kicks ass against pros. And then it became, well, these fucking guys, like, they don't think I'm ready. Look what I just did. Fuck this organization.
I also think there was some conversation about, okay, and then next season, which is the season that just passed, like, your options. It's like, hey, man, even, we're going to give you every chance in camp. And if you don't make it right away, maybe you start with the Phantoms and we can always bring you up whenever. And he's sitting there, interprets that as, they want me to play in the fucking AHL after I just dominated the world.
Yep.
Like, I do think there was some misinterpretation on both sides, like on what, like, he's coming in and saying maybe he wants to stay in college. They're like, all right, man, if that's what you want to do, we're cool. We're not going to, like, force your hand to try to influence your decision at all. Like, if that's what you want to do. And he wanted the hard sell that he got from BC.
Yes.
This is, and again, I could be wrong, but this is basically what I've pieced together.
It seems like the most likely scenario. The way I've heard it, the way I've heard that phone call and that, like, communication described by one source that I really trust is, it was basically a game of telephone where one side thought they were saying one thing, the other side thought they were saying another thing, and the miscommunication just spiraled out of control. So, K-Red, to answer your question, sort of, but not the way you're saying it. Yeah. I don't think this is a situation where the Flyers straight up told Cutter, we're not going to sign you right now.
Because of bonus overages.
Yes, like that's insane.
That's not what happened.
And I don't think that anybody should assume that, like, Briere fucked it up that bad. If there was a mistake made, it was Briere underestimated just how much Cutter needed his ego suit.
And the Flyers weren't like, maybe making the hard sell because they were like, our fucking room is an embarrassment right now, and we don't want like you to be the next Mike Richards.
Well, see, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking about their entire organization was on fire. Danny was a week and a half into taking over as GM.
Danny's not the actual GM. I mean, he was, but like not really. You know, he's the interim still at that point.
We all silly like the mayor.